Good morning, my name is Stephanie Myers, and we're here for the third part at Touchstones Nelson in the art lab, for the third part of the underwater diorama that we're doing. So I mentioned earlier on when we were doing the diorama that I was sort of basing it around Paul Wall's Centennial Swim, which is one of the exhibits that's here in Gallery A right now. Of course, the museum's closed, so not a lot of people got to see that exhibit. It's a swim that artist Paul Wall did commemorating the work of Tom Thompson, who is an artist his work is often shown with the Group of Seven. He's like an honorary member of the Group of Seven. So we painted some of his pictures. So we used Algonquin in autumn, and we used Pine Bend and Bly Inlet, Georgian Bay, and we painted those and we put those up in kind of the top part of our diorama, so you can see those up there. And then this is the underwater portion of the diorama, which is what we're going to work on a little bit more today. So we've got lots of different bits and bobs to add to the underwater portion, and how you do it is kind of up to you. I've just got some ideas to share with you, and then if you like those ideas, you can either use those directly or we can build on those and go from there. So what I think I'm going to start with, so the other day we hung up one of our little jellyfish down there using the wire. What I'm going to do first, I think, is work on a little bit more finishing over on this edge. And then we've got some fish to hang up, and we've got these guys to put in. So lots of little bits and pieces to sort of keep decorating it. So what I was doing when I was adding the underwater portion is I was kind of doing it vertically to give that kind of underwater feel to it. So I'm going to continue with that, and I was doing that with a glue stick. So continue that, and we can work on completing this. I have some more kind of blue-green sequins too, so I might add some more of those as well. Give it that sparkly underwater feeling. The glue stick works pretty good for this because it's not as dangerous as the glue gun, but it also, because it doesn't hold crazy tightly, you get a little bit more ability to sort of mess around with how the tissue paper goes on there, so it's a little bit more organic feel to it. Okay. So something else that we're going to use too is we have some yarn here, so I'm going to use a hole punch, and I'm going to probably I might do the yarn vertically, I might do the yarn horizontally, I might do both. We've got these little guys who were in your kit, so you could paint those however you want and then cut them out, and I put them so there's one on top of each other, so when you finish cutting them out, leaves them together like this. So then when you finish having them painted, we'll put them on the yarn, we'll stick them on the yarn like that, and that way if the yarn flips around, you've got turtle on both sides. And the thing about a hole punch is great because it'll go through this pretty easily, I think, but it'll also leave it right out front. So if you want to do your yarn farther back, you might want to use scissors, which I think maybe I will do. So if I put it on there, I can kind of punch a hole through, and this might be something you'll definitely want an adult to help with. To do that, there we go. That actually worked pretty well. There we go. So we'll take the yarn and kind of measure out how much you need to get a little bit of a knot on each end and give yourself a little bit of leeway. So cut your yarn. If you do a knot kind of at each side, so you'll know, or on one side anyway, so you know where you start. So that's where you're gonna, I just put a knot in the yarn there, and then that's gonna show my end, and then you can kind of lay it down. So this is the length you want. And then put some of those. I'm going to do the sea turtle guy over here. I'll use glue gun for this just so it holds really well. And again, try not to burn your fingers. So that guy, and then this guy. Oh. Angelfish, I think this guy's is. And then you have to go from the inside out. Actually, it'd be a little difficult to poke that through, and you might need to use the scissors, but to poke it through, or a chopstick or something like that, maybe. There we go. That one, and then on this side as well. Toothpick might work well for this too, actually. What I'm going to do is tie a toothpick to it so it doesn't pull through, because a knot with this yarn won't work because it's the yarn's too fine. So if we tie a toothpick to it, then it's not going to come back through there, or anything. You can use a paper clip or anything that you might have, but I think you would have got a toothpick in your kit. That's that. And same on this side, you can use another toothpick as well. I can twist it around the toothpick a couple of times, tie a knot, and then that'll stay where you want it to stay. That's not turning out too bad, except that fish is upside down. So that's that, and then I might do a vertical one as well. So if I do a vertical one, I'm going to, where's my scissors? I'm going to put a hole in this upper part. And just watch your fingers when you do that. So. Yeah, it's hard to. And so I just used the scissors and I poked a hole in the cardboard up above. I'm going to use the same thing. I'm going to use my thing, and I might put it up there first because it was actually kind of difficult to work with when it was out. So I'm going to do that. Again, tie a knot around the toothpick so it doesn't pull back through. And then the toothpick will just sit on the top up here, and it's small enough that it's not going to, you can even break it off so it's not a full toothpick. Pull that down through, and that's where my canoe's going to fit anyway, so I think that should be fine. I'm going to put the yarn behind there. I might, because this is double edged on this side, it'll be harder to put a hole through. So what I'm going to do is probably glue gun it right to the bottom. So I might just do that now. So I'm just going to cut the yarn. And I might just put a dab of glue there and then hold it with a toothpick. As it cools, so I'll just let that cool, and then I'm going to probably use this guy on there, the seahorse, and this guy I'll probably, I put googly eyes in this guy, put googly eyes in that guy. I might just float this guy somewhere. I might even stick him something like in like there. and the sea anemone. Yeah, so we'll do that. And glue stick would be fine for this actually. There, like so. Okay, so that's good. You put your googly eyes on the right side, so glue this guy together so he stays uniform, and then maybe dab a little bit of glue stick on him. Tap them in there and make sure you don't burn your fingers with that one, because it's, especially when there's nothing sort of solid to the back side of him. And then we have these shells and rocks to glue in, so we'll work on that a little bit. So. And then so I was using those springs to put into the styrofoam balls. So we've done this one and painted them with googly eyes. This one I painted this morning, so he might not be quite dry, but he's getting there. We've got another jellyfish, and what I might do is actually just put a dab of glue on him, or I might use the wire again, was what we used before, and that actually worked pretty good. So maybe I'll. So what I did before was I took the big styrofoam balls, cut a hole in them, and then this wire actually goes through him. I did the other day pretty well. So get that through so you can see it on the bottom, and then do a bend in it so it doesn't come back through. Figure out where you want him, and same sort of wire. Make a little bit of a kink in the wire so the glue gun's got something to hold on to. And just get that wire in that glue. Just let that cool for a minute. And then these guys, I might sort of use glue stick again and sort of stick them out along the side, maybe off the rock, something like that. That's what that looks like. There we go. Sort of like that. So we have that other glue, that guy got in these. And the great thing with the wire is you can spin it. Because initially he wasn't, couldn't see his googly eyes, but there now you can. So that's great. So do some rock attachment wherever seems to make sense. Think about doing the rocks and then the shells. You can put those wherever you want as well, just to, you know, decorate. Nice thing about the rocks is you kind of don't have to worry about burning your fingers as you're putting them in there. Some of these shells are great, they're awesome. They were deaccessioned down from our archives actually not too long ago, so they were given to me to use in whatever way I saw fit. And this is one of the ways that I see fit. It's glue them in a diorama. And those shells, of course, would have had snails in them, so they can actually climb up the side, so you can do that as well. got the rocks down there at the bottom. And we put some up on the sides as well, both sides. And we've got the seahorse there on that side as well. Might do some decorating with these sparkle things. So I need another glue stick in there. And these are tiny, so I'm just adding a little sparkle here and there. You can put those in back too if you want. That's that. So I made a canoe. I have new instructions on how to make a canoe, so I'll put that in the link when we do the editing of the videos. And this is again to sort of tie the diorama into the exhibit that's in Gallery A, Paul Wald Centennial Swim, because it's on Canoe Lake. And it's also in the exhibit once it opens up again, when the museum opens. He swims across Canoe Lake in Algonquin Park, and he also has canoes that follow him that have an orchestra with them. The sound is amazing, like the music that they're playing is it's really haunting and lovely. So that's why I wanted to make sure that we put a canoe in here. And of course we've got the Tom Thompson paintings again up top, so really trying to keep it, as much as it's just a craft, I want it to have some sort of connection to the Paul Wald show. Got a couple more things to do down here if we want. I've got another one of these googly eyed guys, so I might just stick him along here. And these are pretty easy to use actually. There's just these springs, and then I sort of use the pointy end and stick it in there. You can be generous with the glue when you're doing something like this, because the glue's got to really hold them on there. So, and then what we're probably gonna do for the last little bit is maybe use some of those sequins and kind of attach them around back to the water back there to sort of give the water that shimmery feel that water has. Sort of run my glue stick down the wall, down the tissue paper, and sort of drop in some of those sequins. And you can do this in different parts of the background, wherever you feel drawn that it needs a little sparkle. Don't forget the sides as well. Some more there on the side. As you're doing this, you might want to hold the tissue paper down so you don't tear it. So just as you're running your glue stick along there. I want more of the red to show when I have the canoe there. Yeah, I'll prop it up in some rocks. Still got some rocks left. And shells. Dabs of the glue stick. Yeah, so I got the canoe up there on the rocks. I got some of those sparkles in the background. And then let's see what we've got. We've got this fish guy. Maybe I'll stick him, and I might actually take him in two parts and stick him in the background there. There. Okay. I've got one more of these guys to use. I might make him hang from up above. So that tissue paper is not very sturdy, so I might use a bit of glue stick up there. If you're going to glue something on top of the tissue paper, I just tack that up there like that. Then this guy, have him hang down like that. Put a bunch of glue on the end of that spring. And again, you're gonna have to hold it for just a couple of seconds as it dries. So or cools. We'll get that done. So I've got a big set of Google eyes that I might stick on this guy here. Go. There we go. So we've got lots of stuff going on underneath. One thing I was thinking that we haven't worked on, and I don't have that prepped, so I have to maybe just leave it as something that we can work on, is we could do some birds up top. And we could do the same sort of thing that we're doing with these guys. We could use the yarn straight across and do some birds, or we could do the wire, another piece of wire hanging down and have a bird on it as well. So we could do that, but I think that's kind of the idea of what we're going for, is like a little bit of, we've got some rocks and we've got some fish and we've got some jellyfish and stuff, and then up top we've got our Tom Thompson paintings, Algonquin in October, Pine Bend, and then Bly Inlet, Georgian Bay. And those are the three paintings we've got up top. We've got a kind of an orange bridge there in the background, and we've got the canoe too, showing that it's like a canoe lake. I want to thank you for taking the time to join us today here at Touchstones, Nelson Museum of Art and History. Again, my name is Stephanie Myers. I'm the public programmer. Please reach out to us if you have any ideas about any other public programming you'd like to see virtually, as the museum is closed now for the next little bit. My email is programs@touchstonesnelson.ca, or you can give me a call. My cell phone number is 250-505-7410. Thanks again, and have a good day.